Red Nation, are we here? The best show for Chicago sports. Oh my God!
Yeah. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. We are live and in action for another daily show. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. As always, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, because we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk, man. So make sure that you get in tune with us. On the docket today, did the Bulls finally figure out their key to success? Will this homestand finally put them on the right path before the playoffs? And if they get hot at the right time, will it change your opinion of them heading into the playoffs? All that and more coming up on the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with your boy, man. Y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the page. This is the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So y'all better make sure that y'all get in tune with us, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the page, because we will be giving away that Io DeSumo jersey back there when we get the 13K. Appreciate all the love. We're real close to 1,500 too. We're at 1,500. We're real close to 12,500. We're at 12,457. Share up the page, man. Share up all the content. We appreciate all the love you guys have shown to us over this time. It's a lot of hard work that goes into this, man. I know y'all don't see a lot of it on the back end, but there really is a lot of hard work that goes into this thing, man. There's a lot of hard work that goes into building this out. And I appreciate y'all for being a part of it and supporting that, man. Bulls got a dub last night. A good one, too. A dub that you could actually feel good about as a Bulls fan. A dub that I left looking at this team like, man, where's that been? If you're like me, you left that game last night trying to figure out, where's that been? Why haven't we seen that more consistently? Why haven't we seen that from this Bulls team on a consistent basis in this last bit of stretch, right? Because we saw it early in the season. So where's that been? How do we find that again? How does this team find that fire that they had last night? And I think you saw it. I think you saw their key to success. And me and Kid have been saying it for a while. I think you saw their keys to success, and me and Kid have been saying it for a while. Play through Vooch. Did they find their key to success? Will they keep that key to success? Will they continue to stick with what we've seen that seems to work for this team well? Will they stick with it, right? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Because clearly we see, right, that they've got the talent to do it. Now, granted, Washington, not the best team in the NBA. I expect the Bulls to be better than them. I expect the Bulls to be better than them, right? I expect the Bulls to come out with a win over the Wizards, even though that's an improving team. I'll tell you this, what you saw last night was actually a really good display of what's going to come from that team in the future. But you have to keep going to that. You have to keep finding that option and don't go away from it because you're trying to make something work, because you're trying to force something to work. I feel like that's what we've seen from the Bulls so often, right? That's what we've seen from this team on a consistent basis where you finally get something going, working in your favor, and you don't ride with that. But I think the Bulls finally realized, and I'll be honest with you, right? There's a lot of flack for Billy Donovan that comes in these games, right? We always see it. There's a lot of flack that comes Billy Donovan's way. But last night it seemed like Billy Donovan took the reins of this team and told him, hey, get the ball to the guy that's killing the other team. I don't know if y'all realize it, but this is something that seems to work consistently. Let's keep going to that. And I'm not to the point where I feel like this team is on the right path, but I think that they did realize something last night, right? And at a minimum, I feel like Zach LaVine and Ayo Dosunmu realized it. In that first half, I don't know if DeMar realized it. I think more so in the second half, he kind of started to realize it because you saw him kind of when he was getting into trouble going to Vooch in that third quarter. That's a key to the Bulls' success here. That's a real key to what the Bulls want to do. And for once, you saw this team take control and do what other teams have done to them and keep forcing the issue with what's working. What have we seen night in and night out? We've seen the Bulls absolutely come down. Hey, on the defensive end, we got to try and figure this thing out. What do other teams do? Hey, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll. What we gonna run this time? Hey, guess what we gonna run? Pick and roll. Why? Because it works. Because it works. Stick with what works. Last night, to me, is a win that I hope opened the Chicago Bulls' eyes. Last night was a win that I hope opened the Bulls' eyes to what they need to do to consistently be successful in this NBA. And I'm going to be honest with you, consistently be successful heading into the playoffs. Now, I'm not coming in here giving y'all the rah-rah, here we go, kumbaya speech. I'm not coming in here telling you all of a sudden the Chicago Bulls are back, baby. Hey, we got to win versus the Washington Wizards. We're killing the game. Listen, you got to win versus a team that's actually worse than the Knicks. For different reasons, of course. For very different reasons, right? But you got a team that's actually, you got to win versus a team that's actually worse than the Knicks. So I don't want to hear all of the C-Redders and all that. You know, listen, I'm C-Red Nation till I die, but I don't want to hear the super C-Redders, I guess we can call them, that are coming out saying, you know, Bulls are back. We got a dub tonight. Bulls are back. No, Bulls aren't back yet. Bulls got to show us that they're back. The Bulls got to show us that they're ready to take that next step. But I think they found a key. And that's where it starts. That's how you start to move things into the right direction. Because to me, if you're going to try and make a run here, right? And that's what you're essentially trying to do. You're trying to make a run. You're trying to get hot at the right time. You're hoping that your team can figure it out at the right time heading into the playoffs and that you'll match up well with whatever matchup the Eastern Conference brings you, because right now the Eastern Conference is on a whole different level, right? Right now, you're matching up with Philly. You're hoping you get hot at the right time and you can go into this and get your first win versus Joel Embiid of his career. And so what does that entail? You have to go to what works. I'm not saying it's only Vooch. I feel like this Bulls team moves better through Vooch. I really do. I know there's a lot of people out there that say Vooch is soft, trade Vooch. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't understand what y'all are looking at. On the defensive end, you didn't bring Vooch here to be a defender. So I'm not looking for Vooch to come in and play lockdown D, getting down and low. And I'm not going to lie to you. He's a better defender than most people will give him credit for. He's a better defender as a big man than most people will give him credit for. Am I going to act like I want to see Vooch out there on the corner trying to keep up with somebody with great footwork? No, I'm not. That's stupid. But we think every bucket scored in the paint is just on Vooch. Like Vooch is just supposed to, let me turn around, get a two-hand block here. And then when nobody picks up the offensive or nobody gets the rebound because I just ran over here to block this ball away and I tip it to the other side. Now somebody comes in from behind and dunks on it. That's still Vooch's fault. That's not an intelligent way to look at basketball. It's just not true. But I think a key to success for this Bulls team is running things through Vooch, and I'll explain why. I talked about it in the post-game show last night. We'll talk about it a little bit here, and we'll get into some other things. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Hit that like button, man. Check out the other content we got on the channel. We got a ton of Bulls content on this channel as well. Look at how the second half went for DeMar. It's a key point to look at. Look at how the second half went for DeMar. It was so much easier. His game was so much smoother. His game was so much better. He was in such a different position that all of a sudden now these shots are opening up. Why? Is it because all of a sudden they couldn't figure out how the heck to guard DeMar? No. I'm gonna be real with you. When DeMar's on, there is no way to guard him. Minus sending 4 people at him. Guess what these teams have been doing? Because they know DeMar DeRozan is prone not to give the ball up. They've been sending 4 people at him. How do you solve that? You saw it in the second quarter last night. DeMar comes down, gets himself into the middle, trying to do a little one-on-one, but realizes here comes the double team. They're collapsing in on me. Guess what? Pump fake. Somebody jumps. I'm going to kick this down to Vooch. Vooch has the ball. Pump fake, lay. What does that do? Now they realize, oh, snap, I still got to guard the big dude down here. We can't double team DeMar DeRozan. You run a single coverage at DeMar DeRozan, he's going to kill you every single time. That is your key to success. Here's the other thing you have to pay attention to and you have to notice, though. Scoring off of the bench last night, 28 bench points. This is a team game. I know we want it to be the one-on-one game. I know we want it to be the, hey, this guy should do this guy should do that. Even what Zach LaVine did last night. Struggling in the first half, Maddie in the chat was good. Struggling in the first half, but still making a concerted effort to get the ball to Vooch. Guess what that does? When you're moving like that, when you're rolling like that, they don't know how to defend you. And Washington's actually a good defensive team. They actually I think they ranked 3rd in paint defense or something like that. They're actually a good defensive team. It's not just, hey, we got these muds. Let's go out here and get it. Like you have to continue to attack what's working. And last night, what worked for you was working through Vooch. And when you found Vooch, here's the thing that I don't think they've realized. When you found Vooch, Vooch is willing to give you the ball back. Let's stop with the slander. Guess who your best facilitator on the team is right now with Lonzo Ball sitting on the sideline? It's the big dude that you refuse to go to. You know why Vooch only had 4 assists last night? Because when he would kick it out to the corner, it started the ball movement, moving it around the top of the key. All of a sudden, now you got Alex Caruso with a wide open shot. Somebody closes out, kicks it down to Vooch. Vooch able to get it back out to the corner. One more pass. Now they're running around trying to keep up with you. You're setting the tone. You have to go to what works. And listen, I'm not saying that the key to success is not Vooch. He's a part of it, right? But it's not just Vooch. It's about sticking with the guy that's working efficiently. DeMar DeRozan could drop 39 all day, but 39 on 27 shots is not good. Or whatever it was 2 games ago. And especially when you're having that inefficient game early, Lil PR was good. Jeffrey was good. Shea was good. Especially when you're having that inefficient game early, right? When you're having that inefficient game early, you're putting your team in a hole because you're not allowing other guys to get going. They forced it into Vooch. Because they saw him getting going. He had the only 9 points for you, and then Washington goes on a 7-0 run. They come back. They take the lead. They start to try and pull away, and they forced it into Vooch. You got to find a way to get these big guys involved. And it's not, well, look at how they're defending him. Yeah, they're defending him that way because you're not getting the ball into him. You're telling me if Shaquille O'Neal's down there, you can't find a way to get him the ball. You're telling me if Joel Embiid is down there, you can't find a way to get him the ball. You're telling me if Nikola Jokic is down there, you can't find a way to get him the ball. Go to what's working. And the same is for Zach LaVine. The same is for DeMar DeRozan. Whoever is being the efficient player for you that night, you find a way to get them the ball and put the ball in their hand. You think the freaking Warriors care about who's going to score the most that night? When they're running that thing like that, you think they care about who's got the hot, who's going to be the star tonight? They don't care who's the star tonight. They don't care if Steph Curry goes for 50 or if Klay Thompson goes for 50. Somebody go for 50. They've had nights where they've literally let Draymond Green cook because he's on. Phenom was good. Chef C says, I know Kobe had a box plus minus of 8 plus 18, but dang, 9 field goal attempts just to score 9 points. That does not sit right with me. I do like that he was passing and more rebounding. Here's the thing. Everybody has off nights. Zach LaVine had an off night. Now, I do believe that Zach LaVine was hurt last night. I think he was pushing himself because he felt his team needed a win. I think that he was sore as heck last night. I hope that he's going to be good to go in the Clippers game. I really do, because you just saw his game. He didn't have lift in his jump shot. He didn't have lift on his layups. He was struggling to get to the bucket. He was fighting through so much, and the only time he started getting it going was when things started opening up because they were playing a more open game. But watch what he did, just like Kobe White did. Hey, when I'm off, other things have to work. This is the thing about basketball, bro. It's like Stacey King says. It's a simple game. Just because you're not scoring does not mean you can't have an impact on the court. The thing with Kobe White that has irked me is that when he's not scoring, he has no other impact on the court. And I know he can rebound. I know that he can facilitate. He threw a dot last night. A dot. Did y'all see that came up with the Magic Johnson? Come underneath. Hee. You have to get yourself involved. Find a way. P. Will getting himself involved last night, forcing the issue on the rebounds, forcing himself to get to the bucket. Shout out to Hayes. We were over on Chicago Bull on Locked On Bulls last night. We went live from that channel. But the thing that he mentioned about Patrick Williams, and I don't know if you want this from your phone. Here's my thing about P. Will, right? P. Will, to me, I believe, will be one of the best defenders in the NBA next season, if not the best defender in the NBA. I don't know if that's what you want at your number 4 pick, but I 100% believe that P. Will be the best defender in the NBA based on how he defends. Dog, people turn into P. Will and they literally are just like, oh God, what was that? P. Will has the makings of a guy that will be that shutdown guy. Guess what? When I need somebody that's going to shut down Kevin Durant, when I need somebody that's going to shut down LeBron, when I need somebody that's going to shut down whoever's on the other side, Paul George coming in tonight. I hope we see a heavy dose of P. Will on Paul George. When I see need somebody that's going to shut down Paul George, guess what? P. Will, get out there. Do what you do. I think that he's going to be the best defender in the NBA. Now, I will say this. I don't know how much he's going to be offensively. But Hayes made a better comparison to me, right? Because there's a lot of people that have compared him to Kawhi. And Hayes made the comparison that he believes he'll be Luol Deng, which is 18 points a game, maybe 20 points a game. Great defender, good rebounder. I'm not mad at that. Now, the question comes down is, do you want Luol Deng at 4? I feel like you thought you were going to get something bigger. But when he made that comparison, it fits. It fits. Now, hopefully he's more than that. But think about this. I feel like 100% he's going to be the best defender in the NBA by next season. I feel like that's the one thing that he hangs his hat on, and he does it so well. And if you can give me Luol Deng production offensively, what was Luol's career numbers? Now, they might be lower. Maybe I should look at Luol's numbers with the Bulls. Because them end of seasons, he's still getting paid by the Lakers too. I'm trying to look up Luol numbers right here. Apparently my internet said forget you. But no, if he becomes a Luol Deng, right? And you get that consistent production from him, and he becomes the best defender in the NBA like I think he will, is that worth it at pick number 4? Is that a good pick for pick number 4? Okay. All right. What's going on there? 4th pick in the draft. You're seeing Obi Toppin with more minutes start to do a little bit more. I don't know what he's going to be, but hopefully, that young man develops into something nice out there. But if he's the best defender in the NBA and he's giving you 18, I think I could live with that. I think I could live with that as a good pick at 4. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? No. But is he going to be a key piece of what you're trying to do with scores that you already have on your team? I could live with that. I really could. All right. Apparently Google on On my iPad, it's just like, oh, forget you, dog. We're not working today. Oh, I guess you know what? Look at me, supercomputer. Let's go over here. See what we got over here. Luol Deng career stats. His career high with the Bulls was 19 points a game. He was 19, 6 rebounds, just about 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He averaged about 17 and a half, 18 points a game with the Bulls. Over his career, he averaged 14, 6 and 2, but the drop off is drastic. Like by the time he got up to 17, he was a nice player, stayed at the 17s for a little while, got up to 19 one season, and then outside of that 14, 12, 7, 2. So if you're looking at that player with as a much better defender at 4, are you happy with that? I think I would be I think I would be happy with that. You know what I'm saying? A nice 18 with great defense, that's what you need. And 18 don't mean he can't do more. But it's all about the impact he has on the floor. It's all about the impact that he has on the floor for this Bulls team. It's all about the impact that he has on the floor offensively and defensively. Because listen, if you're giving me 18 and you're keeping the guy on the other side who could be a superstar, that could be a game breaker from scoring 25 plus, guess what? You did your job. I can't be mad at you. You did your job. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. 66 people in here, 29 likes, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports on a daily basis. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Also, if you guys haven't done so, man, make sure you guys check out FanDuel.com/the Windy City Breeze. We are partnered up with FanDuel. You guys can check the link in the description below on that. They're the premier destination for sports gaming. And they've done right by your boy. We've been doing the fantasy side of things over here, man. My last lineup didn't get me a dub, but got me a good amount of points there. But you basically just go in, build your team, stay under the given salary cap, and then guess what? If you got the most points by the end of the night, you win real cash money. Cash prizes. They have free entry games. They also have paid entry games. Either way you want to go, check out FanDuel.com/the Windy City Breeze, or just click the link in the description below to check that out. Listen, here's a good question. Shout out Chef C. Is Andre Iguodala a Hall of Famer? I think we'd all say yes. If Patrick Williams could end up being a similar type of player, I'd take that. I do think Patrick has mini Kawhi potential. We'll see. We'll see, right? I don't know if he's got mini Kawhi potential. I don't know. I don't know if he has maybe. I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. But I don't know if he has that Kawhi ceiling, right? That's the question on P. Will. Does he have that kind of ceiling? I mean, right now, he's 20 years old. I will say this. We talked about this last night. Is he done growing? He could actually get bigger. You know what I'm saying? He could actually get bigger. He could actually grow into the next level to from 6'7" to maybe 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Now you're looking at a completely different kind of player. How does that affect his game? Luol Deng did that same thing. How does that affect his game? How does that move him into that next level? But to me, I'm looking at his game and I'm looking at how he's playing and how he's affecting this team. How he's affecting this team is great if he can play that level of defense that we saw last night. If he can play that level of defense he saw last night and more, here's the thing. I think you have to give him the challenge tomorrow of Paul George. You've got to put him out there eventually. We can't keep babying him. I understand he's trying to work his way back. And listen, notice this, Bulls fans. What have we learned about Billy Donovan? Billy Donovan does things in games where he feels like his team is better, that he can get the dub, right? Billy Donovan does things in games where he feels like his team is better, where he can get the dub. Patrick Williams on some of those nights was playing 14 minutes a night since he's been back. He's been playing on 14 minutes a night. He's had a game with 17, had a game with 18, but for the most part, he's been on the lower minutes. Last night, I'm trying to pull up the game from last night so I can get the accurate. I know it was 20 plus, but I want to get the accurate statement here. P. Will played 24 minutes, took 5 shots, 6.7 rebounds from the field, had 1 steal. If you can keep that going, that trend going that we've seen from Billy Donovan, right? Where, oh, let's try this. Let's try Tristan and Vucevic on the floor together. And then in the next game, you see it. Let's try putting Io and Caruso back in the starting lineup. And in the next game, you keep seeing it, right? If that trend continues, guess what? Expect to see a heavy dose of Patrick Williams versus the Clippers. He's going to get his first test. He's going to get his first test. He's going to get his first test, his first real test, and I think that that's going to be big for the Bulls to see what he's got heading into the playoffs. And Pete Will told you this is the first time he feels 100% healthy. Let me pull up this P. Will audio here. I know I got it in here. It might be I think it's from 2 games ago. But he was talking about kind of how he was setting up, how he was feeling, how his body was feeling, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that means a lot. He said he rushed himself back. Here we go. Here's P. Will. It's about a 4-minute chunk. We'll let it play.
First 4 games, but I was coming back from an ankle injury. Like it's the 5th game of the season for me. I know I played the first 4 games, but I was coming back from an ankle injury that wasn't 100%. You know what I mean? And I think that was a lesson learned there, as far as you're responsible for what you put out there when you play. I don't think I was 100%, but you know, when they asked me like, "How are you feeling? Is your ankle okay?" I was coming back from my ankle injury. I would say, yeah, it's fine. And it really wasn't. So lesson learned on my end. But I definitely don't think I was 100% in the beginning, and that's on me. So I think this is the first, 4 or 5 games where I feel healthy in the season. So it kind of feels like the first 5 games of the season for me.
Or is the game moving fast? Is it just so much time? I know you do a lot of film study, but is the game moving fast for you while you're out there?
Not really. It's more of just kind of translating what I saw in the film to actual live in the game. It's not moving too fast. It's a lot slower than it was last year, if that means anything. So I don't think it's moving too fast. Not really. But it's also not my job to decide when I play. If it was my job, I think everybody on the team would want to play 40 minutes. But that's not my job. My job is to be ready whenever my name's called. I think I can do a better job of that. It's not on coach. It's not on a coach. I have to be better. I have to defend better when I'm out there. I have to be better when I'm out there. So it's on me for sure. Like I said, minutes to me isn't as important as what you do with the minutes. So obviously, I'm not as aggressive. I can be better defensively. I can be better rebounding the ball. I can be better on the floor while I'm out there. And then, let the chips fall where they may as far as playing time. So that's what I mean. I just got to be ready when my name's called. Mhm.
What did you see out there
When I was out there, I was playing a 4, and we I know in the second quarter a lot we went 3-4 pick and roll with DeMar because they were either at first they weren't blitzing. He was eating it alive. And so when Vucevic was out there as well, they were going 3-5 pick and roll, and Vucevic slips in the pocket, and then the backside is literally wide open. It's just like 1-on-3, 1-on-2. So I think that was working, and I think it did work. So I think when I was out there in the second quarter, slipping into the pocket, I had one to Kobe. I think he missed the 3. Then the second one I probably should have shot, but I thought I saw Tristan open. So that's on me. I mean, it's he can't control my shots. Coach can't control how many shots I shoot while I'm out there. He just puts me out there, and puts the rest of the guys out there, and expects us to do what we know we can do. So that's on me for sure.
What is the biggest challenge for you right now?
I think anybody who's 5 games into the season, just the rhythm, the flow, it takes a while. We're seeing AC get back in his rhythm now. He was, I'm not gonna say struggling. He was playing really well for us. He was vocal on the bench. He was vocal in the game, and we saw a big jump in defensive energy, offensive energy when he came back. But we're now seeing him get back in the flow, get back in being who we all know he is. So I think it takes time. It's just a matter of never getting too high, never getting too low. You can look the first game and say, "Oh, he did this and that," and then look at this game and kind of, wonder what happened. But it's just the game. Every game kind of dictates something else from everyone. So, like I said, I just got to be better. But every game kind of has its own life. Every position has its own life. So, I mean, today has nothing to do with tomorrow. The first game had nothing to do with this game. So
That was P. Will. He was basically just telling you kind of what he went through. He said he came back too early. He said, I wasn't 100%. And guess what? What I put on the court is on me. How I looked on the court is on me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a good thing to look at and understand early in your career. He came back too early, wasn't healthy. We're criticizing him. Why the heck isn't he doing anything? Why isn't he getting rebounds? Why isn't he playing as good a defense? Why is he going the other way? And then he gets hurt and we don't get to see him. And guess what? He's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? He's not healthy. So now we're seeing him 100% healthy. And even then, he talks about, everybody was kind of getting on Billy Donovan on, hey, you got to get this kid on the floor more. You got to do more with this kid. And even he says it. I wasn't playing. It's on me to play better. Now, listen, press conference is a press conference, right? How many press conferences have we watched this season where the Bulls have told us something that they haven't put on the floor? But I think we saw P. Will in that last game start to put it on the floor a little bit more. And that's it. He's going to be a big key. He's going to be a big key. I think we saw P. Will on the floor trying to be a little more aggressive, going to the bucket. I'll say this, right? He has to understand how strong he is. That drive last night where he ends up taking, I think it was Kispert off of the dribble, getting to the bucket, goes up. Kispert and Gafford are both right there. He bumps Gafford off, makes the lay and one. That's huge. Understand your body. Understand your size. Understand what you can do if you really go to this hole. You know what I'm saying? Understand how good you can be if you continue to go to the hole. I think that he doesn't understand him yet because he's 20 years old and we're asking him, hey, figure it out. It's a process, y'all. It's a process. I will say this, though. He's going to be a huge key to success. And I think that I think that win, lose, or draw, right, coming up in this game versus the Clippers, you have to put him out there versus Paul George for 25 minutes plus. Whether he's getting killed or not, he's your best chance at guarding Paul George. And Paul George came back with a vengeance last night. So here's the thing. Whether Paul George is 100% or not, right? Say Paul George isn't 100%. He just had a good game versus Utah, which he seems to always do. And P. Will comes out and Paul George isn't playing at his best. But P. Will sees that Paul George is struggling versus him that night. You're heading into the playoffs. You're going to need this kid. You're heading into the playoffs. You're going to need this kid to be efficient. And if he is efficient and has a night that he shows Paul George, like Paul George, say Paul George had 15, 16-point night, something like that, just because he's hurt. But P. Will don't know it. He can walk out of there and say, yeah, I held Paul George to 15. He had 30 the night before. Confidence builders. Confidence builders. I need to see him have that big night. Have that big minute night. And I'm going to be honest with you, win, lose, or draw, I'm sticking with him. Because you know what? If you can stop him, you can stop anybody in the NBA. And that's what I'm going to tell you. And that's how I'm going to build you up. That's how I'm going to move you forward. And I think that's what Billy Donovan is actually good at. And I think that's what you should expect to see. There's going to be growth this year. I don't expect the Bulls to win a championship anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I thought they had a legit shot at a championship, but I definitely thought that they had a shot to be in the Eastern Conference Finals based on how they were playing earlier this season. For them to get to that next level, you have to put them out there and let them grow. And Billy Donovan's good at that. 24 minutes in this game, guess what? You're probably going to see him 25 plus. You're probably going to see him 25 plus. And here's the next question, right? Because we kind of broken down, did they figure out their key to success? Now it's all about, are they going to stick with it? But the Bulls are getting ready for a big homestand coming up here. The Bulls are getting ready for a big homestand coming up here, and they've got to find a way to continue that success that they've seen. Will this homestand put the Chicago Bulls on the path to success? The Bulls are absolutely a much better basketball team at home than they are on the road, and it's not even close, unfortunately. Now, they've played a lot more road games here in this recent stretch. I'm trying to pull up this record right here. I know I had it up here. They're going to give me just the stats out here. I thought they had their records on here. I'll find it. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Don't worry about it. Bulls home and road wins. But they're a better team at home, right? They're a better team in the United Center. Than they are on the road. Here we go. At home, the Bulls are 26-10. On the road, they are 18-22. Their last 10 home games, the Bulls are 7-3. Their last 10 road games, the Bulls are 3-7. And they're now back to 22-22 versus teams over 500. They're 22-10 versus teams below 500. You got a lot of teams above 500 coming in here. right? This next stretch of home games for the Chicago Bulls is big. They've got 5 home games, and then they finish it out with the game in Minnesota, which who knows what that's going to be, right? But they have 5 home games left here. Will this homestand put them on the right path? And the biggest question about it is, right, can they find a way to win these games similarly to what we've seen? Did winning last night, right? Because winning last night on the road in Washington, we just had the full conversation. You figured out your key to success. Can you bring that back to the city? Can you bring that back to the city? The Bulls' next 5 is not easy. Okay, I'm done with the tablet right now. The tablet is tweaking on me right now. Bulls' next 5 as it looks right now: Clippers, Heat, Bucks, Celtics, Hornets, all at home, all playoff teams. You got to win here versus the Wizards. Good job. How's it translate? How does it translate? And based on how the playoffs are sitting right now, I mean, you could see movement from this Bulls team in the standings. That's something we haven't seen in a little while here. Bulls now sit 4 games behind Philly. Or they sit 2.5 games behind Philly. They sit 2.5 games behind Philly. If they can win through this next stretch of games, you might even see the Bulls get a homestand, which, listen, as I just told you, the records coming into the playoffs is going to be important. Whether you feel they're a first-round exit or not, you want to give yourself your best chance to win. I'll take 70% over 30% all day. In the last 10, I'll give it to you again. They are 7-3 at home. They are 3-7 on the road. Going into the looking at the full season, they're 72% at home. They're 45% on the road. 18-22 on the road. You have to find a way to get. And here's the thing: you get yourself some wins in this next stretch, it does a lot for you mentally. Because remember, all season, what did we hear? Bulls can't beat a top team in the East. You got 3 shots at it. Bulls can't beat a top team in the East. They're trash. They can't get above these best teams in the East. And listen, they haven't been able to. They haven't been able to beat these top teams in the East. You got 3 shots at it. You got the Heat, the Bucks, and the Celtics. I think the Heat are on a tankathon trying to avoid Brooklyn, which is wild, which is a whole other wild situation in itself. Now, looking at some of the games they've been in that have been real close out here. Almost lost one to Detroit last night. Detroit, by the way, where's Don Burr at, man? Detroit coming up a little bit. I give you that one. But you got the Clippers with Paul George back, who just beat the Utah Jazz, who are a well-coached team. You got the Miami Heat, who are sitting at the top of the East. You got the Bucks, who are sitting at the top of the East. You got the Celtics, who are sitting at the top of the East. And here's the thing, right? Even if you win all of those games, you still might not get the top seed. Because we have the hardest schedule in the NBA. Even with all of that, you still might not get the top seed. Or not a top seed, but a top 4 seed. You know what I'm saying? You look at the teams ahead of you, and really right now, you're just trying to figure out how it's gonna play out for you, right? You're trying to figure out if you're going to be flying back and forth or driving back and forth. Because as this thing sits right now, you got Boston, Milwaukee, Miami all above you, and Philly. Miami's in the 1 spot right now. Milwaukee's in the 2 spot. They're a game and a half back. Boston's in the 3 spot. They're a game back. Philly's in the 4 spot. They're a game and a half back. Right? I'm sorry, I said Milwaukee's a game and a half back. They're a half game back, I should say. All of them could have flux. We've seen how that this week of NBA has gone. Boston was 1, and then they were 4, and then they were 3, and then they were 1, and then now they're 3 again. Right now we're playing Philly again, as Philly just took the loss to Milwaukee last night. But you can see a situation where these teams are beating up on each other here. And you're trying to close it out. Philly's schedule through the final 5 games should be pretty easy for 6 games, I should say. Pistons, Hornets, Cavaliers, Pacers, Raptors. Oh, they got 7. Pacers again and Pistons. They must have some makeup games. That Giannis block was crazy. That was a great game last night. I had to go back and watch that one after I got done with Locked On. That was a great game last night. But you don't know how it's going to land, right? You don't know how it's going to play out. You could see Boston at 1. You could see Boston at 4. We might really be in a situation where we got a first-round matchup versus Milwaukee. Now we got Mad Spice for Ringo in this mug. Where's he at? You might really be in that. Like, you don't know how it's going to play out, and so all you can do is control your own destiny if you're the Bulls. For me, Philly's got a very winnable schedule. Boston's got a very winnable schedule coming down the rest of the stretch here. They finish out their season. They got the Heat tonight. They got Pacers, Wizards, us, Bucks, and Grizzlies. Those last 3 might be tough, but they got a chance to get in a nice position here. Milwaukee right now, they're finishing out the season. They got the Nets Thursday night. They got the Clippers Friday night. They got Mavs, Bulls, Celtics, Pistons, Cavs. Milwaukee's actually probably got the toughest schedule other than us. How did the Heat finish the season here? Oh, yeah, here we go. Bulls, Raptors, Hornets, Hawks, Magic. They got Celtics tonight, too. They got Celtics, then they got us. And then they're kind of cruising. So it's going to be tough, right? It's going to be tough to move up in seeding. I say all that to say this. It's going to be tough to move up in seeding. But if you can move up to just a top 4 spot, even if it's 4, right, and you've got that 4-5 matchup, the difference in that is a 72% win percentage versus a 45% win percentage home and road. Now, I think if you played Milwaukee, it would make a difference, right? Because you're basically just taking a bus ride. You're sleeping in your bed every single night. You're probably like rolling up to Milwaukee. You play your 2 up there. You come back. You're probably practicing it. You're doing everything probably the same. So you have to, all you can do is control your own destiny. You've got your next 5 games at home. You're 26-10. That is a ridiculous record, by the way. Y'all realize that, right? That is a ridiculous record. You are 26-10 at home. You could finish, if you can get 4 of these games, 30-12 at home. That's a ridiculous record at home. Now, do I like the road record? No. But that's why I say you want to give yourself home court advantage. You want to give yourself the best chance to make a run in these playoffs. What's your best chance to make a run in these playoffs? Playing at home. We all see it. We all see it. If you don't see it, you got your eyes closed. And the teams in this league, that does make a difference. To a young team like this, and I know our star, this is the thing that the Boston fans was trying to hit me with. Your main stars are younger than our stars. Yeah, your main stars have played together for 4 years. Our main stars have played together for 1. You can't even count Vucevic because he was playing when Zach wasn't. He basically came here and turned the Bulls into the Orlando Magic. He was playing ball when Zach wasn't even playing. Zach ended up catching COVID. Bulls might have made the playoffs last year. Which, man, that would have been huge coming into this season. Man, that would have been huge coming into this season if they could have found a playoff spot. But coming into this year, if you had told me the Bulls would be 26-10 at home with 5 games left, trying to figure out or coming off of a game where they seem like they figured out what it's going to take for their team to win games, and now heading into 5 games that are going to have a playoff feel in the UC with a home record of 72% win percentage at home, that sets you up nice. Now it's about what you do with it. Now it's all about what you do with it, man. What are the Bulls going to do with it? What should we expect the Bulls to do with it here? For me, you got to get this dub, man. You got to get this dub. This next one versus Paul George and the Clippers is going to be big. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think that it's one that if I'm I can't. I wanted to predict a win, right? I wanted to predict a win, but I just can't, dog. Like, you got to show me. That's the thing, right? With most of the people in the chat right now, you've got to show me. Right now, you've got to show me. Are you going to show me? We've seen the Bulls win again. Hey, we just saw it, right? We just saw it. Bulls beat Cleveland. What do? They go over there and they get their heads kicked in by they go over there and get their heads kicked in by the Knicks. Bulls beat Cleveland before. They go over to Sacramento, get their heads kicked in. You have to find a way to keep what's working going. You have to find a way to keep what's working going. If you're not going to be able to do that, then you're going to have a tough time coming down this stretch. That's what it's going to be. But the Bulls' home splits are they're ridiculous right now. Their home splits are ridiculous right now. It's not even close. Look at the rest of them. Last 10 games, Bulls are 4-6. Last 10 home games, Bulls are 7-3. Last 10 road games, they're 3-7. They're just a better team at home. They play better defense at home. They lock in better defensively at home. Teams score less against the Bulls in the United Center. I love that people in here in the comments giving Vooch slander on a night where he gave you 27. Was literally the reason you won the game. I love the Vooch slander, dog. It cracks me up. It's literally the funniest thing from this season. It's probably 100% the funniest. The funniest Bulls take from this season is that Vooch is bad at basketball. That cracks me up so much. Because it really shows that people aren't watching what's happening. They're just watching the outcome on the play. It really shows that people aren't watching what's happening. They're just watching the outcome of the play. Oh, they scored a bucket at the paint. Yeah. Ask yourself why. Actually break down the play. Why? Actually break down the play. Why? Last night's Vooch is an anomaly. It's not the norm. Why? Why, Electric? This is the part I like doing, right? This is the part I like doing. Why? Tell me why. Why isn't last night's Vooch the norm? Is it because of Vooch? Or is it because something changed last night in the game? In the game plan? Why isn't it the norm? Because we come with the slander for people, but we don't actually break down what the problem is going into it. Why are people scoring buckets in the paint? Is it because Vooch isn't stepping out to play defense? Or is it because somebody is coming behind him that's giving up? Oh, here's a good one. Because he disappears when he should be present. What does that mean? What does that mean? He disappears when he should be present. What the heck does that even mean? Is he getting the ball consistently? Are his shot selections different? He misses too many open point blank shots. Okay. How many times has he been cooking and he stops getting the ball? How many times has Vooch been scoring the way we saw him scoring last night in the first quarter and we don't see him get the ball again the rest of the game? How many times this season have we seen that? How many times this season have we seen Vooch literally dominating everybody on the other side of the team and the Bulls don't keep going with the hot hand? How many times have we seen that? Right? Like, it's hilarious to me how people look at it. It's hilarious because I ask all the time, are you watching what's actually happening? Why is Vooch getting beat inside the paint? Is it because Vooch isn't stepping up on defense? Or is it because the 6'4" dude can't guard a power forward that's coming through at full speed? Vooch not getting the ball is a coaching issue, not a fans issue. I'm going to be honest with you, dog. Nothing the Chicago Bulls do is a fans issue. Do you really think the Chicago Bulls care how you feel about one of their players? Hey, listen, I get on here and I talk sports all day. The Chicago Bulls don't care about what I think about their players. The Chicago Bulls should not care what fans think. You know why? Because Chicago fans are some of the most irrational fans in the world. Remember that stretch where he was DMVP? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that stretch where Vooch was cooking because he was getting the ball every night and it was all the trade Vooch people was quiet, right? It was real quiet. Y'all remember that? It's because you're only talking loudly when you have a point that you feel is valid at that time. Make that point when he's able to do something. And I give you this. You coming through with Vooch slander on a night after he scored 27. I give you credit for standing on it. But let's be real. Why is Vooch struggling? Why has Vooch regressed? Let's be 100% about it. Y'all watched Miami win 4 championships, and you absolutely would have wanted to trade Chris Bosh. Win 2 championships. I don't know why I said 4. Go to 4 championships. And you absolutely would have wanted to trade Chris Bosh. J1, Good point. He doesn't have the same confidence and toughness like he did while he was playing for the Magic. Just saying. He's not in the same role. Vooch was the number one. Vooch was the option, right? Vooch was the Bulls' option, or the Magic's option. Vooch is the third option on this team. Vooch is getting the shots. That the third option would get. Are you saying he doesn't disappear in critical moments? I'm saying that he doesn't get the ball in critical moments. You want to know what the difference is last night? Let's run through it real quick, right? Vooch had 27, 5, and 4 last night. Vooch had 27, 5, and 4 last night. He shot 12 for 19. He took 19 shots, 2 for 5 from the three-point line. He took 19 shots. 14 of them were in the paint. You want to know what he did the game before while still giving you 16 and 13? He shot 11. Game before that, while still giving you 16 and 9, he shot 14. Game before that, while still giving you 16 and 9, he shot 11 shots. Game before that, while giving you 22 and 7, he shot 15 shots. There's not a bad game on here from Vooch for a while now, but I see a lot of games where he doesn't get shots because he's the third option. You're taking your rage out on a dude that's not getting the same amount of shots, and you want to blame him for every single loss, and that's just an unintelligent thing because you're not watching what happens. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to watch the games like that. To watch the game from the fan point of view where whoever isn't doing or doesn't have the most points on the screen is the problem. Whoever has the least amount of points on the team right now is the problem. But to look at something from a fan point of view is not the intelligent way to watch basketball. It's fun. It is. It's a lot more fun. I can just be pissed about, hey, Vooch didn't do it. But other than maybe, let me look through here. In the last couple months, other than 2-3 games, Vooch hasn't had a bad shooting night. Other than 3 games, Vooch hasn't had a bad shooting night. Vooch hasn't been the problem. What was different last night? That's the difference in the team. That's the difference in the team. What was different last night? That's the difference in your basketball team. Nico, here we go. What are you talking about? He's still averaging 15 shots a night. You're talking about intelligent. You're the one who said Levine was going to average 33 points a game this season. Be honest now. I did because I thought Zach was going to be the number one on this team. Guess what? DeMar puts up numbers that break Wilt Chamberlain records. DeMar becomes the number one on this team. Let's also break down. He's averaging 15 shots a night. Okay, if he's getting 15 shots a night, he's being efficient with his 15 shots a night. But when is he getting those 15 shots a night? Is he getting those 15 shots a night at the end of the game or at the beginning of the game? Are they getting them going early or are they getting them going late? Is he having a what's it called? Like a consistent game? He's getting 3 a quarter. 4 a quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like how is he getting his 15 shots a night? Because if we're being 100% honest, he gets a lot of them in the first half and he doesn't get those same looks in the second half. So when you want to blame somebody for not putting up numbers in the second half, look at when he's taking the shots. Don't look at the averages and say, well, he's putting up 15 shots a night. He should be able to do this and get this. Guess what? On 15 shots a night, he's being pretty efficient. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to fight today. Hey, it's all good, baby. I'm solo dolo out here today. I'm solo dolo out here today. I love it. I love it. They were playing a sorry team like the Wizards. That helps explain the difference, does it? Because again, they played a sorry team the night before in the Knicks, and he got 11 shots, and he still gave you 16 and 13. A sorry team. A much more sorry team than the Wizards are. The Wizards are at least a top 10 defensive team. They've just been through a ton of injuries and a ton of turnover. A sorry team. Hey, I love it, dog, because I just love looking at. I look at basketball in a different way. I look at basketball. Why is something happening? Why is something happening on the defense? Are they running a 1-2-1? Are they running a 2-3? Are they running a 3-2? Are they running man to man? You know what I'm saying? Nico, nobody was talking about when he gets the shots. Who said anything about that? LMAO, is Vooch and Billy's fault to freaking talk to the team. Hey, listen. You gotta be able to be intelligent about it, right? You gotta be able to be intelligent about it. When he gets the shots matters. If he takes 10 shots in the first half and he gets 5 in the second half and 3 of them come in the third quarter, guess what? He got 2 shots in the fourth quarter when it matters. That's how you got to break it down, dog. That's how you got to look at it. If you're gonna be, if we're gonna break down what the Bulls are doing, let's break down what the Bulls are doing. Let's break down what's going on. Let's look at it. Let's not just say he got 15 shots and now he should be able to score the best. That's not how that works. I get what you're saying. I understand how you're looking at it. Listen, I used to look at it the same way. But I can't look at it that way when I do this job. I don't get that flexibility. But isn't that the fault of Billy D's game plan? It's a part of it. Listen, here's the thing. Guarding the pick and roll is about, yes, it is a part of Billy D's game plan. I'm not taking away from that. I'm not taking away from that. But guarding the pick and roll is also on the players. Billy can put in whatever game plan he wants. If the players don't execute that game plan, and we've seen that defensively, the players haven't executed that game plan, I mean, it's not all on the players. I mean, it's not all on Billy, right? Billy's a big part of it. Yes, he is the coach that puts out the game plan. But you also have to execute said game plan. You know how the Bulls have been getting killed by these role players? Because they're wide open in the corner. Let's be real. The pick and roll has hurt us. The pick and roll has hurt us. But what's hurt us more is rookies in the corner wide open. Or not rookies, role players in the corner wide open. That's what's hurt us. Look at this Bulls team. What's hurt us? I mean, really? Are we watching the same game? What's realistically hurt this Bulls team on a consistent basis is leaving guys open on the defensive end. Guess what they didn't do last night? They didn't leave guys open on the defensive end. Also, are they playing a worse team? Yeah, but you know what? I've seen them play that level of a team. Oh, y'all didn't piss them off. Oh, y'all Y'all done brought this man out. Hey, listen, Hayes, keep it kind of locked on here. You ain't got to troll nobody. As we bring in my co-host from Locked On Bulls, we got Hayes in the chat.
What's going on? First, let me just say thank you for dropping the gospel on Nikola Vucevic today. It's what I needed to hear. And I'm keeping it. Listen, no Petty Roosevelt. I'm keeping it PC. We got you. I know this is a family program and whatnot. What's going on, brother?
What's going on with you, Hayes? How you feeling, my boy?
I'm living, man. I'm living.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad at you. Listen. I just had to. I had time today. I'm solo, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the trolls be in here talking, and they just not looking at the game the same way. That's okay though. That's okay.
Yeah.
You just
I've been
gotta-
dealing with it myself over there. It's funny how people are all like, no matter what, like I had somebody in my comments talking about, oh, well, Wendell Carter's having clearly a better season than Nikola Vucevic on a team where he literally is the number one option almost, and their team has what, 15 wins? Like, come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Dog, when he dropped that 30-point game, the Vooch haters were out in droves, dog.
Yeah,
when he
man.
dropped that 30-point game, the Vooch haters were running to be like, I told y'all Vooch was trash. Bow.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
How'd we get here?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, give your breakdown of it. What are you seeing from Vooch that was different from last night's game that we've seen over these past few games where, listen, he's still giving you good production, but yeah, he's not getting nearly the same amount of shots.
Yeah, he went from being the number one option in the Magic to the number 3 option. And the thing is with Vooch is that I will give you this. Sometimes his lack of aggression does frustrate me. I will give you guys that. But we're talking about people having a player having a down season and still being in the top 10 of every statistical category of their position. In what world do we say somebody is terrible in which they're the top 10 of what they do at every statistical category? And I get it. People expected to see a different type of Vooch, and I did too coming into the season. I get that. But if we're talking about a player even on a down season is giving you a double, is leading the league in double doubles, damn near. What is he, number 3? So yeah, I would like to see Vooch be more aggressive, but at the same time, you can only be aggressive so much as they're going to you. And Billy Donovan has completely pulled the rug under Vooch in games where Vooch is playing well. Now, when Vooch is not playing good, you got to go to other people. I'll give you that. But there's absolutely times where Vooch is going, and Billy Donovan takes the ball out of Vooch's hands, and it doesn't make any sense because even if, like what we saw in last night's game, Vooch didn't have the same type of scoring output in the second half, but guess what? You still went to him, and the Wizards still had to respect him, and then he was able to be smart enough to make the correct passes to get other players in good position. That's how you use a big man with Vooch's skill set, period.
Yeah, and me and you talked about it last night on Locked On, dog. Like, when you use him in that way, how DeMar was going to him in the third quarter made DeMar's life easier. And that's what you need to keep looking at. DeMar runs into double teams like they're going out of style, dog. Like, he's always looking to run into a double team. But when you hit that double team, guess who's usually doubling? The dude that's guarding Vooch, because y'all not giving him the ball anyway. There's no reason to go to him. When DeMar did that little pump, got him in the air, threw it down to Vooch, and Vooch got an easy lay, all of a sudden it's like, oh, snap, he passing the ball to Vooch.
That's a fact.
Now we actually got to guard this. And then I think the second half is more indicative of what this team can be. Now, granted, I get y'all. It's against the Magic. You got to beat better teams than that. You got the opportunity coming up here at home where you're 26-10 at home. But when you saw Zach LaVine start knocking down shots, DeMar DeRozan's got it going, and Vooch is still a threat, and he's the one that's facilitating, and your bench is – dog, this team legitimately would be unstoppable. This team legitimately will be unstoppable.
And then when you add in Lonzo, whenever he comes back, Lonzo's ability to hit that outside shot, this team, as the way that it was initially meant to be constructed, keep in mind, what you do when you build a team, I think people forget that. There's no player that's going to give you everything Vooch gives you and defense. That player doesn't exist and be healthy all the time. So the way that this team was constructed is that Lonzo Ball was going to help with Vucevic's pick and roll defense, and then you had Patrick Williams to help solve some of the physicality and other type of issues that Vucevic lacks at. We never got to see that when Patrick Williams was playing. Yeah, the Bulls were undefeated, but Patrick Williams was still coming back from injury. And learning a new position. People also forget that, like, moving from the 3 to the 4, while that seems like an easy transition, you're guarding completely different players. So, like, like, we never got to see what this team was designed to be.
Yeah.
Fully healthy. We never got to see it. Now, again, I understand when people have issues with the team construction. That I can give people. AK did what they could. But at the end of the day, like, we never got to see the optimal version of this team that was meant to maximize Vucevic's positives and cover up some of his liabilities on the defensive end.
100%. 100%. I mean, listen, we got you here. Might as well ask you this as we go into the final topic. Appreciate y'all tuning in and rocking with us, man. We out here living out here, dog. Yeah, I'm saying we living right out here. While we got you here, man. I mean, I want to ask you this, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on Locked On Bulls. Make sure to check that out. Daily podcast every day over on Locked On Bulls. Check that out. If the Bulls, and we were talking about coming into this homestand, how the Bulls have a great record at home, a ridiculous. I don't think I realized how good it was. It's 26-10, the 72% win percentage at home. In their last 10, they're 7-3 at the house. If the Bulls go on this homestand and they win these games, how are you going to feel about them heading into the playoffs?
That would completely change the outlook of me saying I want to see the Bulls have a competitive first round to they are back to being able to make it past the first round. Like, if the Bulls come out of this home stretch, God forbid 5-0, God forbid even 4-1, it really changes so much for this team. Like, I want to see this team play good. I don't expect them to win every game. I wouldn't even come in with that. But I think that for the doubters that have been doubting this team, for the people who keep using that 0-16 stat, even though it's not correct anymore, I really would love to see this team. It would really change and how they win those games, right? If they win those games, I'm not expecting blowouts against those teams, but if they win those games in a convincing manner in which they don't look outclassed out there at all, listen, you got to go back to thinking, hey, this team can really do some things, and that's without Lonzo Ball as well.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Coming down this last 5 games where, like, it could really change everything because you would essentially dispel that stat. Now you would be 3-16, but if you can finish your season beating a team with Paul George that legitimately just annihilated if you watch that game did not feel close. That game did not feel close. You know what I'm saying? I watched that Utah game with Paul George, and I was like, yeah, he got it. He's back. Good Lord, he's back. So if you beat them tomorrow night, and then you're able to take care of Boston, you're able to take care of Miami, you're able to take care of Milwaukee, that's a completely different mindset. And I think, listen, there's something to be said about believing the hype. They absolutely could believe the hype of we're not good enough to beat these top teams. If you break that mindset in your own mind, now what are you going to accomplish?
That's a fact.
That's just a life lesson. Sometimes you hold yourself back by the walls you put up. And it seems like, I mean, your assessment of it, when you've seen the Bulls get down to these top teams, they really don't have a lot of fight to get back in the game.
That's true. I mean, a lot of these teams, these players that we have on this team are untested, right? We've talked about it, battle tested. Me and you talked about that very heavily. But this is the stretch where you get some of that before the playoffs. If you can get players to play confident, this is part of the reason why I think like what AK and Everly is going to do with the bench, but that's a conversation for another day in this offseason. But if they can build some confidence, and it's one game at a time, as they do more, if that confidence gets rolling before the playoffs, we have absolutely seen teams that ride that wave into the playoffs. It completely changes like, for example, the We Believe Warriors. They got on a streak, got some confidence under them, and look, let's even go back to this team. Let's go to the Bulls that swept the Miami Heat. They had no business sweeping they said themselves, right? We are not sweeping the Miami Heat. But as that series went on, they realized, oh no, we can absolutely sweep the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot is said to the confidence and the mental part of the game. And I think sometimes we don't pay enough attention to that. When you have a rookie who was your starting point guard for 35 games in the season, sometimes that gets in the player's head. But we need to see them build that confidence. We need to see them get on the roll, because once they do, man, it's going to change some things.
It's nice, right? Because it's like now. Listen, if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. A lot of ifs in this. You have to beat the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
For any of this to make sense. You have to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, teams that you have struggled against. Did we beat Boston this year?
Yeah, we did.
Hearing people talk about we beat Boston. I don't remember us beating Boston.
Yeah, our first game against Boston, we beat them, and I believe that game was without Zach LaVine, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. You know,
I don't remember this game versus Boston, dog. I really don't. But if was it a blowout?
We won 128-14.
To 14.
Yeah. 120. I mean, to 128 to 114. My bad.
I wanted to wait for you to figure that out.
Yeah, you said it. I was like, yeah.
Let me game, my boy.
Let me go back and look. So no, Zach LaVine did play in that game. Who did we? I guess we weren't missing anybody in that game. Zach had 26. DeMar had 37. Vooch had 11 and 10. And 9 assists. He damn near had a triple double, and Lonzo Ball had 12 points in that game.
How do I not remember this game?
Yeah.
hey, was this a drunk stream, y'all? Was I lit that mug? Like,
it was early in the season too. I think that was like our 6th or 7th game of the season. So,
fam, I'm not even joking. Like, I don't remember this game. I gotta go back and look at this. Hold on. But anyway, like, hey. So wait, do we have a win versus the top team or not? Then, like,
that's the thing, right? That's the thing. And I had to get on somebody in my chat the other day because people were talking so bad, like, and it was when Boston was one of the, we're 0-16. I'm like, well, technically we're not, because now, but like the standings have changed. Like, people just use that as I think people forget that stat isn't a static stat. It's depending upon who's the top at that time. And when we beat some of the teams that we beat, they were the top team at that time. Like when we beat Brooklyn, they were I think first or second in the East when we beat
them. They were the best team in the NBA.
So yeah, people forget that.
Man, I really don't remember this game, bro. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this. I don't even remember. Maybe I didn't call it. Maybe it was one game I didn't call. I don't know. Yeah. But no, I mean, I look at this final stretch that the Bulls have. I mean, Timberwolves, it is what it is. Hopefully by that game, we're just like, well, we're gonna be the 5th seed, or we're gonna be the 6th seed if it comes down to that. But there's so much that could change this team in one day. If it was a 5th, we'd all be drunk. You can get 2 of these games to me. If you can split between Clippers, Heat, Bucks, Celtics, and go 2-2, and remember that I did call it. Good Lord, Shay, I must have been lit. He remembers the live call. Fan, hey, listen, it's been a lot of games this year. Forget y'all.
It's felt like 3 different seasons, right?
It has, bro. Like
we had the beginning of the season where we were like, wow, these they good, and then we had the DeMar MVP stretch, right? And now we've had this second half of, like, since the All-Star break that's just been terrible. So yeah, it's been like 3 different seasons. So
let's go be it. I gotta go back and see what I was doing. But I mean, let's be real, right? They're top 5 teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
If you go 2-2 versus these teams and you finish out with a couple dubs and you go 4-2 to finish out the season, does that do something for you? Does that make you feel better about this team heading into the playoffs? Or is it kind of hey, you got to go big or go home in this to make you feel better moving into this playoff series?
The thing that's going to make me feel better is if they play well, right? No more blowouts, playing well, playing focused. The number of wins. Listen, I said the last 5 games of the season are hellacious stretch. I want to see the Bulls, even if they go 3-3 over the last 6 games of the season. To me, depending on what 3, no matter what 3 they beat, because that would mean they'd have to. They're all damn near playoff teams.
Playoff teams,
yeah, they're all playoff teams. So that really does change the outlook for me, and it hopefully gives them a little extra bounce in their step heading into that first round. And I really hope we face Boston in that first round too.
You want Boston, dog?
I want Boston. Without Time Lord, without Time Lord, and if Lonzo's coming back, I want Boston for sure.
That's true. Now Lonzo, I haven't heard nothing about him, but he's supposed to be getting reevaluated.
Yeah, between today and tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow, he should be. Reevaluated probably doesn't mean back yet. And that's the part that me and you have talked about over on Locked On that kind of can get scary, right? Because you're going into this playoff series with your rookie point guard. I mean, at this point, right, I would literally start Io in the first round, whether Lonzo's good to go.
Okay.
Because you found a weird chemistry that works. Do you want to screw with it as you go into the playoffs?
Yeah.
Maybe you work him in and you try to start to ramp his minutes up throughout the playoffs here, but he's not going to be back. We're talking about a week, right? 2 weeks till the playoffs. He'd probably be back playing middle to end of next week. Maybe he wasn't even running. He's just been doing light contact. He hasn't even been cutting. Yeah. So like I personally wouldn't even run Lonzo out there yet. I would almost be like, listen, we got 4 years of you. If we get into trouble, we may play you heavy just to see if you're ready to go. But I feel like you're risking having him do further damage because we know he's rushing back.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing you got to look at. We know he's rushing back. We know that Alex Caruso rushed back. We know that Patrick Williams rushed back because they feel something good about this team and they want to be there for the playoffs to get the experience. And it's going to be big because Lonzo has no playoff experience. But like, I'm looking at, is it worth it to risk his health just to maybe get bounced anyway?
I don't think that they would risk his health, though. I think the Bulls are going to be so protective over Lonzo that if they bring him back, there's going to be so many stipulations on him coming back that they're going to make sure that they wouldn't approve him coming back and playing if they thought it was going to be a huge detriment to his health. And I think if he is cleared, we're probably going to see Lonzo Ball at a 10 to 12 minutes restriction. That's just me off the top of my head guessing. Now, with that said, 10 minutes of Lonzo Ball coming off the bench and what he does defensively, I'll take that. Right. And he has to be happy with that. I would take that, especially in the playoffs. But I think that if they get to that point, it's going to be so many levels of approval he has to get that at that point, I personally aren't going to be worried about any long-term implications for his health. But maybe that's just me being optimistic. So,
I mean, it could be. It's one of those things that I've looked at and I've heard a lot of people say, just wait till we get Lonzo back. Just wait till we get Lonzo back. Just wait. And I'm like, I almost like, what do we want Lonzo out there for? We want Lonzo for ball movement. Can he give us that? Sure. But we also want Lonzo for defense. If he can't cut right now,
hey, that's a fact.
You're not a defender. So is he going to be out there rushed back where he's like, I'm trying to get back early. I'm doing what I have to do. Yes, I can cut on it, but it's not the best. Like Patrick Williams said, coming into the season, he talked about it. We talked about that earlier in the show. P. Will broke down that, yeah, I told him my ankle was healthy. That don't mean it was. You know what I'm saying? He basically said, I wasn't healthy coming into the season. Everybody was looking at me crazy. Why you not doing what you're doing? But I kept telling them I'm healthy. All they can go off of is what the player tells them, and as long as the X-ray is good, they'll put you out there.
That's true.
So, like, that's the one part that I'm worried about. That's the one part that I'm looking at, and I'm saying, hey, are you going to be able to consistently get that production from Lonzo to where you can work him back? Because, dog, the only way you're going to get him in a playoff series is if you keep putting them out there.
Yeah. It's facts. It's facts. I can't argue with your logic at all there. Yeah, the Lonzo Ball mystery is gonna be interesting to see how they play this down the stretch. Because clearly he wants to come back, right? And he wants to be here for that team, but sometimes you have to protect players from themselves, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we'll see when it comes to that. Yeah, I mean, I ain't got nothing to add. You hit the nail on the head there.
Hey, man, I love it. I love that you pulled up to go at him.
Come on, man.
It's just like
I was watching this. I was watching and I was like, oh man, listen, they trying to kill my boy. Let me come do the run for my wrestling fans. Let me do the run in real quick with the chair. Help my boy out.
This is the thing. They can't kill me on it. I watched the game too close.
Yeah,
I can see it. You know what I mean? I can see what's happening. I can see what's going on the court. So I'm sitting there. He was like, "Let me come in for 10 minutes." I was like, "Y'all didn't piss them off. Like, saying something. You don't know what you're talking about. Here we go." Oh man.
yeah. I came in controlled, right? I didn't come in
You did a
firing.
good job, man. Hey, listen, you've done better than some of the days on lockdown. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'll be ready to go off on people. I'll be ready to go off on people, man. I have to control that side of me because, of course, now as like a content creator, especially like somebody whose channel's grown a lot. When I first started, I used to be able to go at people and they'd be like, "This crazy dude, he got 100 subscribers." Now that where we at, it's like
you growing now.
Yeah, I gotta watch it a little bit closer.
Hey man, if y'all ain't in tune with my boy over on Chicago Bulls Central, make sure y'all get in tune with him, man. He's got the pre and post as well over there. That's killing it right now. You sticking around, and you gotta bust a move.
I gotta bust out, bro. You know, I got work during. I'm not at the level of you yet. I can't do this during the day, but
it's coming, my boy. Don't worry about it. It's coming.
Oh yeah, next season is definitely coming.
Hey, give them all your socials, my boy, so they know where to follow you at.
Yeah, you can follow me personally at CEO Hayes. That's CEOHAIZE. You can follow the show at Bull Central Pod, also Chicago Bull Central. Also host Chicago Bear Central, which we're ramping up. So you can follow me at all those places.
So if I see y'all in this stuff and y'all not watching my videos, I'm on y'all hitting. I'll just play. Hey, my boy, stay safe out there, all right, my guy.
All right,
have
you
a
too,
good day
Phil.
at work, man.
All right, man. Be easy.
All right, man. Peace. That was my co-host on Locked On Bull, or really the host. I'm the co-host. Either way, co-host on Locked On Bulls, Hayes. Make sure y'all support my boy over there, man. He's doing some great things right now. As the pettiest man alive is in the chat. What's good, Mr. P Kid over in the chat? Hey, man, let's look at what we got on the docket tonight. Because here's the thing, right? Now we're at the point in the season where everything in the NBA matters. Now we're at the point in the season where everything in the NBA matters. Right? Like every team doing something matters to what happens with the Bulls as it keeps happening. You got tonight's game. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me get to the right slate of games right now. Dallas taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dallas is visiting Cleveland. Cleveland's on a 3-game skid. They've struggled to kind of get these wins. I'm telling you, it's so huge what Jared Allen means to that team. Yeah, that's right? I said the right Allen, right? Now I'm dumb. Now I'm questioning myself. Who's Jared Allen? Jared Allen's a football player. Why am I questioning myself? I was right. Jared Allen. Jared Allen's also a football player, right? Don't worry about that. It's so huge what Jared Allen means to that team. And both teams coming in with a slew of injuries, y'all. A slew of injuries. Dallas comes in. Tim Hardaway is out. Brandon Knight, game time decision, not injury related. I didn't even know Brandon Knight was on that team. I'm not going to lie to you. Trey Burke out. He's got COVID. Spencer Dinwiddie out. He's got a knee. Sterling Brown out. He's out with COVID still. And those really the guys that matter. You also got Pinson and Nitla Quinta. I think that's how you say his name. They're all out. And for the Cavs, Rondo, game time decision. He's got his ankle. He didn't play with us because of that. Dean Wade is out for the season now with a knee injury. Jared Allen still out for a little bit of time. Last that I'd heard on him, he was getting reevaluated, but they still don't have a return date. But he's not going to have the surgery, so he's hoping to return for the playoffs. And they've got Evan Mobley out with an ankle. There's a ton of outs, but there's one dude that ain't out that makes the biggest difference for them, and that is Luka Doncic. And I really think that's going to be the biggest thing for Dallas moving forward, man. The fact that you have a MVP candidate cooking every single night makes such a difference for this team. And I think it's going to be the big thing for this team moving forward, man. You look at Luka right now. Luka has gotten it. This Mavs team, we said it. Me and Kids said it. I don't know if we said it on the show, but I know we were talking last night. This has been the most even trade in the NBA. Spencer Dinwiddie for Kristaps Porzingis has been the most even trade in the NBA. It's been the one trade that I feel like both teams have benefited from moving forward. It's been the one trade that I feel like both teams have absolutely gotten success from. And when you see Kristaps, and I'm telling you, you got it. We had a, if I'm being real, we kind of got lucky last night. We didn't have to deal with Kyle Kuzma. Kuz and Porzingis together is a problem. Kuz and Porzingis together is a problem. And on the flip side, Spencer Dinwiddie has been cooking for the Dallas Mavericks. Y'all want to check out? Hold on. Let's see here. Dallas, last 10 games here. Let me pull up Spencer Dinwiddie's numbers. $13, 3-6, 12, 4-2, 11, 4-2, 26, 4-6, 28, 3, 12, 8-2, I believe. 22, 4-3. I'm trying to see where the trade came in. It used to show where the trades came in. I believe the 5th, right? When was the trade deadline? I believe the 5th was it. Where was the trade deadline on that? But yeah, I mean, 36, 2-7, 23, 3-2, 13, 2, 16, 3-7. Just what Luka needs, right? Just what Luka needs. Hey, we've got this really good player. Oh, and by the way, we've got another player that if that really good player isn't scoring as well that night, he can pick up the slack. Oh, we've got another good player that if that really good player we've got and Luka isn't passing as well that night, he can pick up the slack. Oh, you need defense, right? He's got it too. He's got that. Don't worry about that. Like, that's been such an even trade. I love the contribution that Spencer Dinwiddie's given them. And now the Mavs are 4th in the East. Now the Mavs are 4th in the East. Or in the West, I'm sorry. And cooking right now. Keep that going, man. Looking around the NBA tonight. Magic and Washington, we don't really care about that. Neither team matters for us. Sure. Dub, Washington, whatever. Denver playing the Pacers tonight. Also doesn't matter, but interesting game. I'll check that one out as well. Charlotte versus the Knicks. Now, this is a game that matters because Charlotte is on the precipice, right? Like kind of on that play-in, play-out game. They could be possibly an 8th seed. They could be in the play-in game playing for the 8th seed. And Charlotte, I mean, they're a little bit up and down right now, right? They're a little bit up and down. They're a team there right now. So Charlotte right now sitting at 9th. And as it stands right now, they're a game behind Brooklyn. Charlotte's every win means something. They are going to be playing as hard as they possibly can to finish out this season. Here's the game that really has the implications. Miami-Boston. Miami-Boston is going to be tough. Miami-Boston is going to be you're looking at the first place team versus the third place team, but as it stands right now, they're only a game back. So if they win this game tonight, they're back tied for first place. Right? It's all about who's going to play Brooklyn, essentially. It's all about who's going to play Brooklyn when you look at it. And that Brooklyn flu is real, y'all. That Brooklyn flu is so real, it's hilarious. People are literally just like, hey, I don't want anymore. I don't want to play. Nope. Take the L. Take the L. This is a game tonight where you're going to see, looking at the injuries in this, no Caleb Martin, no Gabe Vincent, no Duncan Robinson. Or I'm sorry, these guys are all game time decisions here. Duncan Robinson with illness, which is weird, right? Because remember the NBA was like, you can't be sick if you're going to play. You can't be sick if you're going to play. And now it's kind of just like, you're kind of sick. I was tweaking on that, bro. Remember when Billy was like, Javonte Green really wasn't feeling that well, so we just sent him back to the locker room. Like, what? No. We're not going back to that. Those days are over. You sick, don't come to work. Those days are over. If you're sick, you're done. There's no, I'm good. It's not COVID. No, dog. If you're sick, you're done. I don't know if you got a new variant they ain't figured out yet. Those guys are all game time decisions. On the Boston side, Boston with the big loss. Now, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both game time decisions. I would expect them to go in this game, seeing as how big of a game it is. But Robert Williams being out for the season with that knee injury is huge for this team, and you have seen the effects of it quickly, right? You have seen what not having that big guy in the middle means for this Boston Celtics team. They were killing everyone. Last time out, lost to the Raptors. Now, the Raptors are a good team. Don't get me wrong. The Raptors, I think, are a better team than where they're seated at, honestly. I think they just got themselves so far down in the beginning of the season, and now they're so far back, they're not going to be able to fight their way back into this. To get a higher seed, I should say. But the Raptors are a good team, and they're well coached. Nick Nurse absolutely has a case for Coach of the Year. But when you see how they were smoking teams, right? When you see how Boston was, they smoked Utah, smoked the Timberwolves, smoked the Thunder, smoked the Nuggets, smoked the Warriors. Now, granted, the Warriors had basically nobody playing that game, but smoked the Hornets, beat the Nets by 6 in that last one, smoked the Grizzlies, who have been beating everybody. And then you see them lose that big guy in the middle, and you see them lose a game immediately after. It starts to make, hey, listen, tonight's going to be big to prove to them. Now, it all depends on if Tatum and Brown are going to play. But that's big to see, dog. When all of a sudden you just see a flip like that, that's a big loss for them. On the other side, you got Minnesota versus Toronto. Toronto doing everything they can to stay in that 6th spot. As it stands right now, Toronto a game above the Cavaliers. So the Cavs, listen, Cavs still playing for something here. If the Cavs win tonight and Toronto loses, Cavs are out of the play-in game. If the Cavs win tonight and Toronto loses, Cavs are out of the play-in game. They're in the 6th spot. Toronto's in the 7th spot. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Cavs have the game advantage over there. Let me double check that. Let me make sure I'm speaking accurately here. Let's see. Last time they played the Raptors, they won. Time before that, man, they didn't play them a lot this year. They won. Yeah, so they have time before that. They won. Yeah, so they have the game advantage. So if they win tonight, they're out of the play-in game. So this is a big game for the Cavs as well. Now, do I think they're going to be in trouble? Yes. Do I think they're going to get it? That would be interesting to see. But this is a big game tonight for the Cavaliers in playoff seeding. And so if Toronto takes an L to Minnesota, who Minnesota's actually had now granted, down the stretch, I would say it's not that. But if you're looking at the Timberwolves defense in the second half of the season, it's been a top 15 defense. So not going to be a cakewalk there for Toronto tonight. You got Kings and Houston. Nobody cares. You got Atlanta and OKC. I mean, technically that matters, but I don't think Atlanta's going to do enough to get out of that play-in spot, right? They're 10 right now, right? I guess if Charlotte loses, technically they could move up to 9. But I don't think that there's going to be a lot of movement on that side. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Atlanta's going to get out of that spot. I don't think they jump 2.5 games all of a sudden and get into an 8th spot, get into an actual playoff spot. But hey, listen, I guess you'll see, right? Because you look at the Atlanta Hawks, look at their schedule coming down the rest of this season. You got Thunder tonight, winnable. The Thunder are on a tankathon. You've got the Cavaliers, who have basically just got hit with that injury bug, and they're continuing to regress, unfortunately. You've got the Nets, who right now are the 8th seed. I guess maybe you're playing harder. I don't see you beating the Nets, but maybe you're playing harder because it's the Nets and you scratch a win there. You got the Raptors, who is a team that's on that could be on your level. You got the Wizards, who's a team they should beat. You got the Heat, who I think are tanking to try and avoid the top spot. And then you got the Rockets in that last game. So there's a couple winnable games on that Atlanta Hawks schedule where I guess they could move up. I just don't personally see them moving up 2.5 games to get out of that play-in level, because that would mean Brooklyn's probably moved down. I mean, I don't think you're going to see enough losses from the Cavaliers, even in a 3-game skid, right? They're still 3.5 up on Brooklyn, or 2.5 up on Brooklyn. So you would essentially say they're gonna lose out the rest of their games and fall that far. I don't see that. Memphis and the Spurs play tonight. That's going to be an interesting game, dog. The Spurs are playing a lot better, and the Spurs are in the play-in. Pop's got them in a playoff spot. 31-44. He's probably pissed that this thing exists, dog. It's like an under 500 season. Pop's probably pissed that this thing exists. Let's be 100%. He's probably like, we're 31-44, and the season's going to keep going. What are we doing right now? But yeah, Pop's got them in a play-in spot right now. They'd be playing the Pelicans. They are They are Hey, y'all want to hear something funny, dog? Hold on. I'll say this, right? I'll say this. The East has way more competition from top to bottom. So everybody is kind of within grabbing distance, I guess you could say. But your top seed is 48-28, and your 10 seed is 9.5 games back. If we're being honest, your 10 seed could move up to a 4 or 5 if they won out and everybody lost. In the West, your top seed is 61-14. Your second seed is 53-23. Your third seed is 48-28, which is the 1 seed over in the East. And your 10th seed, the last team in the playoffs, is 30 games back. Dog, 30 games back, dog. Give up. It's over. I'll bet you Pop is so pissed that the play-in exists. He just wants to get to the offseason and be done. He's probably so pissed that this play-in exists. Oh, my God, dog. And they'd be playing the Pelicans. I actually would pick the Spurs to win that. And then they'd be playing the winner of the loser of the Clippers and the Timberwolves. And I might pick the Clippers to win that. I almost would pick the Spurs to beat the Timberwolves. They might actually make the playoffs. I'll bet you Pop is pissed, just like, dog, why won't this season end? Why are we doing this? Nope, don't lose, keep winning. But I mean, come on now. Why won't this season end? But yeah, man, you've got that matchup tonight, Memphis versus the Spurs. Spurs going to be going hard. I think that they're going to be trying their best to stay in. I think it's just Pop's nature to want to win. Memphis still doesn't have Ja Morant, I believe. Yeah, he's still out with his knee injury. Jaren Jackson out is a game time decision with a thigh injury, and then Killian Tilly is out with a knee injury. On the Spurs side, no Doug McDermott, okay, and Romeo Langford. But so basically going with the full slate, you've got them without Ja, but that Memphis team has been ridiculous without Ja. What are they, 17-2 now, something like that? It's ridiculous right now how they've been able to play. That's why we were talking about Coach of the Year and looking at, we were breaking down kind of like looking at where the Cavs were and how Memphis has done it. Memphis might have 2 awards this year, dog. I don't know, because you would assume Ja Morant's gonna get comeback play, or what is it? It's not comeback play, most improved, and I can't think of their coach's name right now. He's probably getting Coach of the Year. Taylor Jenkins. He's probably getting Coach of the Year. You know what I'm saying? What else we got here? On the docket tonight, big game tonight, the big game that we'll be breaking down as well. Phoenix Suns versus the Golden State Warriors. Now, Golden State still without Stephen Curry. And, of course, James Wiseman gone. Like, is he done? What's going on with that? Is he not coming back? He doesn't exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? Weird. That's a weird situation. JaVale McGee's going to be out for the Suns with illness. Frank Kaminsky going to be out for the Suns with a knee injury. Dario Saric still out for the Suns. And then Cam Johnson is going to be a game time decision with a quadricep injury. This is going to be an interesting game tonight because really you're trying to see, like, how do you match up with this team even if you don't have Steph and Curry? Right? Like, you're hoping to have Steph back for the playoffs, but what version of Steph are you going to have? This is a game to me where you want to see, hey, Jordan Poole, can you really take that lead? Can you really take the mantle of killing the game on this one? Can you really put this team on the next level like Stephen Curry could? And then hopefully we add back 100% Stephen Curry, but you might be getting back a 70, 80% Stephen Curry. That's going to affect how he's played, and Steph has had a down season. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. And then they finish out the night with the Pelicans and Portland. Pelicans and Portland both taking on or both two teams that are meh. And I will say this though. Pelicans are in a better situation. I feel like Pelicans should win this easy. But when I say man, I'm like, I feel like this is a man game. I feel like they should win this game easy. But Trailblazers are a sneaky team that always ends up pulling out some weird wins. But here's the thing. Since he's been traded, first off, is CJ's is this his first game back against the Blazers? I believe this is his first game back against the Blazers. Let me double check that. Let me look at this schedule here. Pelicans. Yeah, this would be his first game against the Blazers. So that's going to be big in that sense. Since he's been traded from the Blazers to the Pelicans, 26.1 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 6.6 assists, and 51% from the three-point line. I'm not surprised by this. Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum were the same dude. We've known this. Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum were the same dude. We've known this. I love that this dude paid to get on the screen. Shout out to you. Golden Shower Warriors, with or without Curry and Wiseman, still get on the 7K series. You're a wild boy, my boy. That's hilarious, dog. You gotta relax, brother. Shout out to you though. Should appreciate the support for the channel, dog. Nah, man. I think we got a good slate of games today. I think it's going to be fun tonight. Also, catch me on Locked On NBA tomorrow as I'm going to be breaking down with Nick Angst what we saw in the NBA tonight. It's going to be a late night for me. We're also going to be doing Locked On Bulls tomorrow, so get in tune with us for that. We're also going to have some content dropping on the channel today, so keep on the lookout for that, man. We got a ton of stuff coming y'all way, so appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing support as you guys always do, man. You guys always show love. You show up for the daily show. If you haven't done so, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, as we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We had a good dose of Bulls on this one today. As always, man, it's your boy Pat. Oh, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Giving away that Ayo Dosunmu jersey at 13K. Also, make sure you follow me on all the socials. I'm on everything at Pat the Designer. Also follow the Windy City Breeze at the WC Breeze on everything as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again for another daily show, man. We'll be back tomorrow from 11 to 1, bright and early, or midday and early, whatever it is, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.